For thousands of delegates and many world leaders who have spent the last 2 weeks in climate talks, obvious joy and relief at a deal. But once the cheering subsides, the much tougher job of turning promises into action begins. The Paris Agreement sets out a target to limit warming to below 2 degrees Celsius and to strive to keep global temperatures at a maximum of 1.5 degrees above pre-industrial levels. The problem is the commitments made by 187 countries in Paris are not enough to do this. It's estimated that even if they're achieved, they'll only hold warming to between 2.7 and 3 degrees.
We are of the opinion that the agreement could have been more ambitious. We share the concerns of several friends that agreement does not put us on the path to prevent temperature rise below 2 degrees.
The agreement asserts that greenhouse gas emissions must peak as soon as possible. To do this, it relies on voluntary national plans. But as they stand, these plans would see global emissions continue to rise, and by a significant amount. It's an outcome that brought protesters out onto the streets of the Philippine capital, Manila.
The interests of countries like the Philippines have not been adequately addressed, leaving the decisions for countries and not having a very well-defined targets for emissions actually makes it more dangerous for countries like the Philippines for climate change.
The overall agreement is legally binding, but some elements of it, including the pledges to curb emissions by individual countries, are not. This means the success of the agreement depends entirely on political will, with each country setting its own goals and even deciding whether to sign up to a 5-year check-up on what progress it's making. One of the world's leading scientists put it this way.
It's a fraud, really, a fake. It's just worthless words. There is no action, just promises. As long as fossil fuels appear to be the cheapest fuels out there, they will continue to be burned.
The agreement recycles a pledge from previous talks to raise $100 billion a year by 2020 from rich countries to help poor countries transform their economies. But overall success in tackling climate change rests, as it always has, on the shoulders of individual governments. It's now up to them to honour their promises and good intentions and turn their words into actions. Tarek Vasley, Al Jazeera.